What's up, our fans? Pete here from the Lasser Cast with my good friend Dr. Zayas God, Danny Torkel, drinking a green drink. And we are in the middle of our best of 2025
I'm pulling a
list.
Last Jedi.
Yes, there you go. He just squeezed some aliens' teats, and now it's time for us to do numbers 5 through 1 on our top 10 of 2025. We did our 10 through 6 last episode. Go check that out. Danny also did his honorable mentions. Uh, he mentioned my number 5 in there, so I think I should get it out of the way. Is that cool?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So coming out in January of last year was Companion. And I just really love Sophie Turner so much. She's probably the best part of Yellow Jackets, which we've covered on this channel every single episode. I think she
Sophie Thatcher.
All right, Danny. Okay. All right. Was Sophie Turner like fucking Sansa from Game of Thrones?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Whatever. I'm old. Okay. But you have her and she's in a great role for her, right? Where it's like a robot that is essentially supposed to be the life companion for this loser. She gets this awareness, and then the whole movie is she going to get away from him? Is she going to be destroyed? Is he going to get control over her? Now, in the supporting role, the antagonist in the movie is Jack Quaid, who has this really great track record of either playing like a really likable loser who's kind of on the pathetic side, like in The Boys or like in Novocaine, or he plays like a real asshole, vindictive character, like he did in Scream, whatever, Scream 6, I think.
5.
And then in Scream,
Yeah.
thank you, Dan. Yeah. So in Scream 5, and then in this as well. So, Danny, you kind of already mentioned this in your honorable mentions, but I just thought this movie was a lot of fun. There was a twist that I remember when I saw this in the audience kind of gasped, and I was surprised at myself for not realizing the twist right away. But since we're not doing spoilers, y'all aren't going to know what the twist is. You have to just watch the movie. Did you want to go into your number 5, or did you have anything you want to say about Companion?
Honestly, I'll keep it short. I really liked Companion. If Companion came out any other month than January, it probably makes my top 10. The fact that it came out so early in the year led me to kind of forget it a little bit.
Yep.
It's definitely a movie I would rewatch. It's definitely a movie I would show to Charlotte. It feels like a companion piece to oh God, what was the name of that amazing movie that I love so much?
Ex
Alex.
Machina?
Yes, that's exactly the movie. Thank you. Fuck.
Yeah.
It feels like a companion piece to Ex Machina. Um, just with the like AI generated, you know, character or whatever, almost as the good guy compared to Ex Machina. Uh, but yeah, Sophie Thatcher is amazing. She's one of those actresses. She was in Heretic last year, which I think made my top 10.
Sure.
Obviously Yellow Jackets, which we both love. She's awesome. Love her. Uh, my number 5, I think might be on your list. My number
Okay.
5 is GDT's Frankenstein.
It is
Uh,
not.
wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
I went out of my way, even though this movie showed up on Netflix, I made sure that I was going to see this movie in the theater. I went to 30 minutes from my house to the Nighthawk to see this. And I'm really glad I did, because this is the type of movie that deserves to be seen in the movie theater. Amazing cinematography. I thought, and I think this is like the general feeling about this movie, is that it doesn't do anything crazy original with the ideas of Frankenstein. It's just Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Right.
And if you would have said to me, imagine what Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein looks like it would have been this.
Right, right,
And
right,
I
right,
would have been totally into that movie.
right.
And because of that, I got exactly what I wanted. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was
Yeah,
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. You had a sympathetic, almost weirdly handsome creature. You had Oscar Isaac, who is probably the least likable Dr. Frankenstein that I could even remember. Maybe since um, Peter Cushing's take on the character in the first Hammer Curse of Frankenstein, where he's just a fucking villain, Peter Cushing, in that movie. And Oscar Isaac, like, from like the first 5 minutes, never gives off the appearance that he's like, oh, I've made this tragic mistake. I was doing this for all the right reasons. No, he's an asshole from the beginning.
right.
And like, Jacob Elordi is fantastic in this movie. Uh, Athena watched it at home on Netflix. I walked in about 10 minutes into the movie. I said, oh, you're watching this? She said, yeah. Do you want to watch with me? I said, yeah, all right, I'll sit down. And I sat down and I watched the rest of the 2 hours and 20 minutes. It flies by. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted from a Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein movie. So it's number 5 on my list.
Yeah, it would have been on my list, and we should also mention Mia Goth in it too, because I don't think that she plays some sort of like groundbreaking character or that there's anything like super exceptional about her, but I think that she's an excellent actress, and her costumes are just one part of what makes it so great. I mean, Guillermo is an artist. He makes every single. I think you said this in one of our reviews. Like, there's that website. Every frame is a painting or something like that, or every painting is a frame. Like, every shot in this movie is beautiful. She looks beautiful in it. Oscar Isaac looks beautiful in it. Jacob Elordi looks beautiful. Uh, and then there's just some really gross stuff in it too, because it's Guillermo, right?
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm not really sure why it didn't make my top 10, but um, my number 4 is kind of similar. I was trying to describe this movie to someone the other day, and I was saying how this movie has a lot of really gross moments in it, but yet somehow the gross moments still look beautiful. So this is one of your honorable mentions. This is my number 4, Ugly Stepsister. And it is kind of similar to Frankenstein in the sense of you kind of know every single thing that's going to happen. There isn't some kind of radical shift. It is 1000% a commentary on the body expectations for a woman. I mean, that's what the whole movie is, right? But what's the reason why it's number 4 on my list is that they were able to take this ugly stepsister character from Cinderella, who is like, you just automatically don't like this character in any kind of version you ever see. You're just like, this is a horrible person, that there's no redeeming quality. And somehow they make it to where the movie goes back and forth, where you kind of have sympathy for the Cinderella character. You absolutely have sympathy for Elvira, the ugly stepsister. It goes back and forth, and they're like rivals versus Cinderella being this like innocent, exceptional beauty, and then the sister being this like just freakish loser. It's more like they're rivals, and they're both working hard to get what they want, and it is disgusting and beautiful at the same time.
So this is a movie that it was playing at the IFC, uh, the one of my favorite movie theaters on West Fourth in and Broadway in Manhattan, and I just couldn't get into the city for whatever reason to see this in the theater, and I ended up watching it on Shudder. And this is a classic case of what I described in our first video of this was about a 2 hour movie that took me 4 hours to watch because it's a foreign film, so I have to pay attention, but also my phone is out, my cats are walking around, I have to get dinner ready, Charlotte needs something. and I have to go to the bathroom, and it took me forever to get through it. And I had I seen it in the theater, 100% was this going to be in my top 10. Because I didn't see it in the movie theater, and because I don't typically have good viewing experiences at home, I couldn't put it into my list. I loved it for what it was. I liked that dark fairy tale vibe. I mean, the like somebody described it, I think, as like Cronenberg's take on Cinderella, which I can see, like that body horror version. And yeah, you talk about, like we mentioned with Bring Her Back, some of the like those disgusting moments that stay with you. Like that whole tapeworm scene is gonna stay with me for a while. So yeah, not in my top 10, definitely an honorable mention, and I can totally see this being very high on many people's lists.
Nice. Well wrapped up there, my friend. So then what is your number four?
Again, I have a feeling this is coming up for you because you mentioned The Monkey and you said it was your third favorite Stephen King adaptation.
Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh.
oh, well, my number four was my favorite Richard Bachman adaptation.
Right.
It's The
Uh,
Long Walk. This is a movie that I'm sure some people will tell me isn't a horror movie. This is also the horror movie that I feel is most likely to come true within the next 6 months to a year.
right.
Uh, it is. I was reading the book. I was reading the book on Audible, and the book is very crowded. The book has 100 kids starting the race, and they have to go at 4 miles per hour, which, as somebody who goes to the gym and runs on a treadmill 5 days a week, I can tell you nobody walks at 4 miles an hour. Everyone would die in 20 minutes. So the movie making it 50 kids and kind of combining some of the characters together so that like you got traits from some of the characters combined, it focused things a lot more. I was rooting. So again, not spoiling anything, but the long walk itself is there's in the movie there's 50 kids. They walk. If they stop walking, they get shot by the government. It's a competition, and the winner gets a wish, whatever they want, plus tons and tons of money. And I remember as I was reading the book, when it's down to the final two, I was like, obviously this person is going to win, but I'd really like it to be this person. I think that would make it a much better ending. And the ending to the book is so fucking dark. Like, there's no hope at the end of the book at all. And the movie kind of inverts the ending slightly. David Johnson, another guy who probably in another world could have gotten an Oscar nomination. He's an actor that's come up on in our conversations a lot. He was in Alien Romulus. Uh he's so good in this movie. Um Cooper Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is the lead. He's phenomenal in this. It's it it stays with you because of how horrifyingly realistic it feels.
Right.
And uh I love that some movie theaters, some of the advanced screenings had treadmills and they actually kicked people out if they stopped walking. So my gym tried to do a movie night and it didn't really go that well. It was like a rainy night, and I don't think a lot of people wanted to show up to the gym for a movie night. But I
Yeah.
recommended, I said, what would be fun if you invited like as many treadmills as there are, and you put the long walk on, and we had to walk at 3 miles an hour. for the whole
Right.
fucking movie.
Right.
And they were like, that's such a good idea. And I'm hoping that they do that one day because I would like to do that. I
Yeah.
saw this in the theater with Athena and with Charlotte. We were all tears in our eyes at the end. Charlotte was like crying at some points. Athena was crying at some points. This movie, it fucks you up. It really fucks you up. And I had to include it very near the top of my list.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, it could have been on my list. It could have. Black Phone 2 and this could have been on my list. You keep talking about the movie theater experience, Danny, and how that kind of influences how you feel about a movie. I could say the same for myself, but I think it also depends on who I see the movie with, right? Now, I've talked a lot about how.
I'm really glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that, and I'm probably going to come back to that point later. Go ahead.
Got it. So, I keep talking about how I had all these major changes and stuff in my life in 2025, which has kept me from watching a lot of these movies. But like, I saw this movie with one group of people that when I go with them to the movies, they like nitpick everything and they find all these flaws and stuff. And like, I liked this movie. However, there was just something that was like off where I wasn't like when I see horror movies now, I go in thinking, oh, this is good. Is this going to make our top 10 of the year? And I sit there and I sit there and I watch it, and it felt like that, but there was something missing where I was like, it's just off a little bit. Like, I think ultimately, like, a lot of them kind of like giving these little speeches and stuff, I thought that was like a little too saccharine for me. But I agree about the performances. It looks great considering it's in this like bleak American countryside. And the when people are killed off, it is very disturbing, right? So I don't know. I think it probably would have been on my honorable mentions, but it was definitely good. I can go on to my number 3 now, and I'm kind of worried that this movie isn't on your list at all. And this is what I'm going to say, right? This movie maybe could have been my number 1 because of how much I've thought about it afterwards. And I get bothered by, because this is something we talk about on our channel a lot, is like the hype and people talking about a movie so much that you think you're going to like it, and then sometimes it doesn't live up to that hype. This movie was super fucking hyped. It's probably the number 1 on a bunch of lists or very high on lists, but it's a movie that I think about a lot, and I'm like, that has to mean something that I like want to go back and see it, that there's something that stood out. So I'm just going to stop beating around the bush. Number 3 is Weapons for me. And I like it way more than Barbarian. Same director, right? Same writer. I love the main actress in it. She was also in Wolfman this year, which, you know, I would have thought like, oh, that's an easy get on my top 10 list. But I'm like, no, I wasn't into Wolfman at all.
Sadly.
Wait, you weren't either? Okay. I mean, I think that the fucking one of the actors in it is nominated for an Oscar, right? The Ant or whatever.
Oh my God! Wow, I'm having giant brain farts.
The one from Uncle Buck.
Amy Madigan,
Yeah.
the mom from Field of Dreams. Which when I saw this movie, I'm staring at her, and then I literally, to the point where like people turned their heads to me, I literally went in the movie theater, oh, Field of Dreams! Like where it just hit me all of a sudden where I knew her from. Yeah, she's also, of course, in Uncle Buck. Yeah, and also didn't know this. Her and Ed Harris are a couple, and I love that.
That is pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. So, Danny, this movie's not on your list, is it?
Nope.
All right. Now,
so
is this?
I'm. So it's so funny. Our lists have not. We had the same number 8. We had the same number 7.
Right.
I said at the beginning of our first video that there's one movie that is going to be on almost everybody's list that's not on mine. It's Weapons.
Right.
And you just said that when you go to the movie theater, who you're with can affect how you feel about a movie. I'm going to add to that, who you're not with can also affect how you feel about a movie. So I'm going to just lay it out on the table and I'm going to blame my daughter for ruining Weapons for me.
Okay.
So Charlotte and I had tickets to see Weapons, and I have Regal Unlimited. So like my ticket is always free, and then like very often I'll like add an extra ticket for like $12, $13. Literally, as we were like putting on our shoes to leave the house, she turned to me and was like, Dad, I'm really not in the mood to go to the movies tonight. And I was like, come on, really? Like we talked about this. We saw the trailer for it a million times. She's like, I know, but I'm really tired. It was like a 7:30 show during the school week, and I was like, all right, fine. I'll go by myself. Whatever. I go to the movies by myself all the time. What's the big deal?
Right.
Some of my favorite horror movie experiences in the last several years have been with Charlotte with me. Notably, the most famously on this channel, Smile, because Charlotte was so scared of the original Smile that she was hysterically crying, covering her eyes, begging me to leave the theater. And to which I just said, if you want, you can go stand in the lobby. I'll be out in an hour and a half. And she powered through. We went to see Smile 2 together. She didn't freak out as much, but she was so nervous about that. And it makes, for me, it makes the movie so much better. Because then, like, I instantly can talk about them with her. We can, like, whisper to each other in the theater. Like, and I feel like Weapons was the type of movie that I would have wanted somebody next to me where I can be like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was a movie that like necessitated like almost immediate conversation.
Right.
And not only did I end up seeing it by myself, but I had like two teenagers next to me that were kind of being annoying, not like
Uh,
overtly annoying, but like annoying enough that like I kept looking over. And it just got to a point where and this was Chris's number one of the year. But to Chris's point, and this is a point we always bring up on this channel, and I think it's one of the smartest things that Chris has said when it comes to movies, is that you know you're not into a movie when you are actively nitpicking everything about it. And
right.
that's what I found myself doing during Weapons.
Yeah.
Every single scene in Weapons, I sat there going, what the fuck is this? What is going on?
Right.
How are more people not like I'm a teacher. The idea of like a 9-year-old kid walking himself home every day, like I couldn't get past that. I'm like, this is not nowhere in America is this allowed. Nowhere in America is this allowed. The fact that like nobody questioned a 9-year-old walking into a store and buying 30 cans of soup every day. Nowhere in America does that happen. The fact
Right.
that like the fact that Josh Brolin dreams of a semi-automatic machine gun hovering over his house and it's never brought up again and it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. What the fuck was that? Like
Yeah.
these are the
Yeah.
types of things that like the people who love Weapons are like, oh, but it, I can't wait to like talk about this stuff. And I just sat there alone and every one of those things irritated me. And it was I genuinely felt that it was weird when I got home and I saw everybody showering this movie with so much praise. I was like, did we all watch the same movie? Because
Yeah.
there I it sounds like I fucking hated the movie. I did not hate the movie. There's parts of it that I really liked. There's character moments that I really like. Amy Madigan is fantastic in it. But like I also feel like the fact that she's like this weird witch is just like the way that we're going to explain away every inconsistency. Oh, like,
Yeah.
oh, well, yeah, of course he dreamed of an automatic machine gun. She's putting these thoughts in his head. Of course, nobody questioned the 9-year-old buying soup. She blocked it out somehow with her witch powers. And I'm like, well, then that's a fucking cop out.
Right, right.
And you said you liked this. Everybody liked this more than Barbarian. I think I like Barbarian a lot more because yes,
Oh,
I because I think a lot of people retroactively are like shitting on Barbarian because of how much they liked Weapons, which I
yeah,
find weird because Barbarian was in everyone's top 10 list the year it came out.
right.
Um and I thought it had one of the greatest misdirects in modern horror. I remember I included Barbarian on my list with the Sebastian Stan movie,
Fresh.
uh, Fresh, where it was like for the first 30 minutes of the movie, you're like, am I in the right theater? Am I watching a rom com? What's happening? And then all
Right,
of a sudden, oh shit, something fucking crazy happens. And I thought Barbarian was 90% great, and maybe the last little bit of it kind of fell off. It went on a little bit too long.
right, right,
But I thought it was a consistently well made movie that made sense.
right,
And I don't know if Weapons does.
right.
And I I thought the trailer to Weapons was better than the film. I thought
Yeah,
the And again, I would probably give Weapons like a 6.5 out of 10. I thought it did a few really cool things. I thought Amy Madigan, Aunt uh, Gladys is going to become or is already has become one of these like iconic modern horror characters. So
right.
kudos to Zach Kreger for doing that. But as an overall movie, I I'm not interested in like those questions and things. Charlotte ended up seeing it like a week later. And I was
Yeah,
like, so what did you think? And she was like, it was okay. And I was like, all right, well, you probably should have come with me. And I feel like if she had come with me to the movie theater that night, and if we were able to like talk about it a little bit right away, I
yeah.
might have liked it a little bit more. But no, that is the major glaring exception of 2025 that is not on my list.
Okay, okay. Well, then, with that being said, I feel like you can predict my number two and my number one. And I'm
Yes.
wondering if your number two and your number one are the exact same. The only mystery I now have is your number three.
So my number three, I am going to bet is your number two, and then I'm going to bet we have the same number one.
I bet. Okay, I know what you're going to say then. Go ahead.
So my number three is Predator Badlands.
You're correct.
This was the most fun I had in a movie theater by myself this year.
There you
Uh,
go.
I sat in the 4DX seats. I bounced around like a crazy person in the theater as the seats were reacting to the movie. I was laughing my ass off. I had a great fucking time watching this movie. We did a long review of this movie and we just spent 45 plus minutes showering every part of it with praise, talking about how it might be the best Predator franchise movie since the original, or it's either that, Prey, and this. For me, I think it's my second favorite overall Predator movie
Yeah,
uh, to the original Predator.
yeah, me
You
too.
know, like Good Boy and Presence, you get a movie from the point of view of a character that you're never thinking you'll ever get the point of view of, which is the Yautja Predator. I thought Elle Fanning was such a fun character. Like we even joked around that like they included this like marketing gimmick toy character. Um and it somehow worked. And
Right.
it made the movie more fun. And yeah, it was just if you're a fan of this universe, Dan
Trachtenberg.
Trachtenberg has just taken over this franchise and has breathed so much life and so much entertainment back into it.
Yeah,
Prey a couple of years ago, Killer of Killers was a fun animated movie, and then you got this, which I thought, and I think I said this to you when we reviewed it, this was for me the best Star Wars movie that's
Right,
come
right,
out since Rogue One.
right,
Um,
right.
and this felt very similar to like what they want Mandalorian and Grogu to be. That
Yep,
was Predator Badlands for me.
yep, yep. You know, it's funny, Danny, because I know what your number one's going to be. Then I want to know what your number two is. But what's really interesting, Danny, is that if you look at my list, I can't remember your list 100%, but if you look at my list, The Monkey, Good Boy, Bring Her Back, Final Destination, Bloodlines, 28 years later, we didn't cover any of those. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm full of shit. We did cover 28 years later on our channel. Companion, we did cover right on our channel.
I mean, it came out 1 year ago. I don't remember. I
I
remember
think
I
we
did
did.
a short review of it.
Yeah, I think we did though. And then Ugly Stepsister, we did not cover together. I know you cover these in your shorts, you know, but like as a channel together, we haven't covered these. Weapons we didn't cover together. So like it's interesting that the majority of the movies that I have for my like best of the year, we actually haven't covered as a channel. Then Predator Badlands, we just fucking sang praise to for like an hour. So you guys go
Mhm.
check that episode out. I need to know what your number two is. That's sandwiched between these two great movies.
So this is probably the most shocking movie on my list in terms of I can't believe how much I love this movie.
Okay.
Um, and I mentioned earlier in our last our 10 to 6, we ended that with my honorable mentions. And one of my honorable mentions was the Toxic Avenger. And I said that it was an amazing year for remakes or reimaginings of low budget cult horror films from 1984. The
Okay.
Toxic Avenger was one, and the other one is my number two. Can't believe it. It's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Uh,
Oh, okay.
this movie blew me away, blew every expectation I had out of the water. It takes aspects and it pays homage, and there's Easter eggs to the original. By the way, I love the 1984 movie. It's just shamelessly grindhouse and shamelessly ridiculous, and I love it. Um, but this movie takes elements of that. It spins everything on its head. It adds this new element to it that when the movie starts, I'm thinking, "Oh my god, what are they doing? This is going to be so bad." And then it gets better. And then when you realize what is actually going on, you're like, "Oh, oh, they're doing that? Oh shit." And then it leads to like this crazy ending that gives it the possibility of expanding into sequels. Um, Rowan Campbell, an actor that horror movie fans will never let live down Halloween Ends. Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends
Right.
completely redeems. And again, he was fine in that movie. The problem is not him as an actor. The problem was that character being written and everything about it. But he redeems himself as a horror franchise actor because he's awesome in this movie. Um, Ruby Modine, from Matthew Modine's daughter, who's in the Happy Death Day movies. She
Yeah.
is awesome in this movie as well. I I saw this in the theater. It somehow made it to my local Regal theater for like a weekend, and I made sure to go see like a 9:30 show of it. And man, I if you like the original film, or if you're just looking for a new Christmas themed horror movie, this was awesome. I can't believe how much I liked it. Mike P. Nelson is the director. Um, he apparently, I think, directed like that uh Jason Universe short film. And so he knows what he's doing with like slasher stuff.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets some like more big IP stuff to do in the future. Like if they ever get to do another Friday the 13th, I'd love to see his take on a full Friday the 13th. And if they're going to make a sequel to this, I will be there day one. When this movie comes to streaming or is available to be watched, everyone needs to check this out. It was so fucking good.
Shit, Danny, I totally did not see this one at all. So, like, doing
Not a
this
lot of people
recording,
did.
yeah.
It got like a very limited release, and I don't even know if it's streaming now.
Well, I can tell you that, like, after doing this recording with you, I want to look at Boorman and God, or Boorman and the Devil, right? This, and then also I want to check out what was that? What it was called? Strange Harvest or whatever.
Yeah, Strange Harvest.
I remember you were raving about that one too. Yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely check this out. For you to make it your number 2 and to put it above Predator Badlands, that obviously says something. So I'm very curious about this one. So should we get to our number 1, which is like kind of obvious? I feel it's very obvious for a lot of people.
Yeah, all right. Number 1 for me is Keeper. No, I'm kidding. It's not Keeper.
Good one.
This is another year where, so like, I feel like the last couple of years, my number 1 movie has, the second I saw it, it's just been my number 1 horror movie of, not only my number 1 horror movie, but my number 1 film of the year. Last year I was validated because The Substance got nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Writing, Best Actress, and everything else, and it won Best Hairstyling and Makeup. This year, our number 1 broke the all-time record for Oscar nominations for a friggin' what becomes an amazing vampire movie after being an amazing musical / civil rights story. And of course, our number 1, like most people's lists, is Sinners.
Right. Yeah. We did a real in-depth episode talking about this movie. We loved it. The thing that you'll hear us say in that episode, and that we've referenced in other recordings, is there's one scene in this movie that is so, like, kind of unexpected, but unexpected not because of a twist, but just because you've never seen anything like it. And you watch this scene, and I had tears in my eyes when I first saw it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it gives me a lot of hope, because when you sold me on 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, you said there's a scene like that scene in Sinners. And for filmmakers of genre films to start doing things like this, where they're like, because it has nothing to do with fear. It has nothing to do with jump scares. They're both these scenes in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and in Sinners, they go along with the overall story, but it's not so that you're going to be scared, or it's not to see some gruesome kill. And if we keep getting more things like this, then we're in a really good place.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've loved Michael B. Jordan since I saw him in Chronicle. He's great in everything. There's 2 fucking Michael B. Jordans in this movie. It has this great ensemble cast. We're talking about 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. The villain in this is
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell. If you guys haven't seen him in this show, Godless, please go check out Godless. Like, he's on a streak right now. He's fantastic. It has this great ensemble cast. The vampires are scary and yet, like, kind of persuasive in their like, kind of their push to get you to join them. The whole vampire thing is also this commentary on race and class. I mean, this just, like, came out the fucking gate and was like, yeah, I'm going to be there on Oscar night.
As a U.S. history teacher, I want to show the first hour of this movie to my students to show them, like, what America in the late 20s, early 30s South was. The whole and yes, this movie gets compared a lot, of course, to From Dusk Till Dawn, because From Dusk Till Dawn is like an action criminals are trying to get the fuck out of Dodge type of movie, and then okay, cut. It's a vampire movie now. This movie, yes, it the vampire stuff kind of comes out of nowhere at around like the 70-minute mark, but also instead of it just being like a cool movie with characters in it, it's like an amazing historically like this amazing movie that shows the history of the American South. It takes place, I think, in 1932 Mississippi. The idea of these brothers who have survived the early days of the Depression and stockpiled their money as gangsters are now coming back down to the South. They're going to open up a juke joint. They go on this like 40-minute recruiting mission where they recruit Sammy and they recruit the guy, who's he's in the fields sharecropping with his wife. They recruit Delroy Lindo, who finally got an Oscar nomination. They recruit, one of them recruits their ex to come and be one of the bartenders. They recruit the Asian couple. It's like this incredible scene where you're building these incredible characters, and then out of nowhere, in the middle of all of this like epic music and theatrical stuff, we get a turn into a dark, brutal, violent horror film. And I'll also just say this: it has maybe the best non-MCU related post-credit scene I've ever seen in a
Right.
movie. If you have not seen Sinners, it is streaming on HBO Max. Make sure you stick around through the credits for an incredible post-credit scene.
Yes. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I mean, we've already talked about Sinners in length, so go check out that video too. I mean, if you guys have enjoyed our top 10 discussion, like you can check out reviews for Sinners, Predator Badlands. What else did we do? We did 28 Years Later. I think we did Companion. And then Danny always has his shorts too, where he's talked about every single movie on my list, obviously every movie on his list. 2025, it seemed like it wasn't as filled with standout movies as previous years, but I think that there are movies here that I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember more often than I did movies that we've covered before in our best of videos. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think I'm always going to remember Sinners. I think I'm always going to remember Predator Badlands. Like those two were just like bright lights in the whole year. They just immediately, I'm like, oh shit, And I'm already excited to talk about 2026's best of list based on one of the movies I already saw this year. So,
yeah. And yeah, I think we're recording this on January 25th. I am already crazy excited about 2026, given that 3 horror movies I've seen in theaters so far have all been good, really cool, fucking amazing. Looking forward to it. February is going to be a crazy month. Scream 7 comes out soon. So yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. I know you have to
yeah,
get going, so I'll just very quickly say we have our Bone Temple review up on the channel. We have 2 seasons of Castle Rock reviewed on the channel. And you could watch both of our videos, our 2025 numbers 10 through 6. And hopefully you enjoyed this and you'll keep coming back for more of our 2026 reviews.
hell yeah, us sexy guys are going to be around to spit in your mouths and give you some of our movie reviews. See, that was a little Sinners reference there, Danny. And
Yes.
we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.